Well, hello everyone. For all of you who are either watching and or listening to this August episode of Real Living in Chicagoland, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And it is now go time, right, Stewart?
Yeah, for sure. As always, just willing to kind of add our tidbit, a little bit of info, and maybe have a couple laughs along the way.
Absolutely. That's what this is all about. And for those of you who may have watched, listened previous episodes of Real Living in Chicagoland, co-hosted with mi amigo, my friend Stewart Ramirez. We always lead off the conversation with asking Stewart to share some insights as to what are current trends and a market update with real estate happenings in Chicagoland. So, Stuart, why don't you lead us off with that first?
Yeah, for sure. So we are at the tail end of or I don't want to say the tail end, but middle middle to end of the summer season right now. So things are kind of slowing down a little bit for sellers. It's not as crazy as always, and every year it happens over and over again. So there is some inventory, which is a good sign for people who are looking to buy. However, there are still multiple offers going in on properties every day, right? So I know I wrote 3 contracts this week alone, and all 3 of them had multiple offers. So it is still out there, but it's not like it was 3 months ago where every house had 12 offers. So that kind of makes a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's that time of the year where, as we're rolling into this month of August, everyone's trying to jam in their last vacation before school season starts. So, for
Right.
all of you teachers, for all of you parents of school age kids, you know what I'm talking about. So, as part of our episode today, Stuart, I invited another friend of mine to join us, and let me bring her into the studio. All right, so that you guys can see who she is, you can hear from her. And by the way, this is a little tease now. For those of you who do not yet know my friend Debbie Jackson, that you see here, she is absolutely someone you should know for 2 reasons. If you are looking for a change, by that I mean a career change, not a physical change, and or you're wanting to make that change and earn more income, then that is absolutely why Debbie is someone that you want to know. Now, she's going to tell you more a little bit later at the tail end of this episode. But before we go into that, with both of you as my friends, connections, this part of the conversation, I want to make it interactive. And that is, I want to ask each of you for your input, your stories. You can kind of go rated R a little bit if you want, because this is an adult only video podcast, right? There you go. Right. Okay. So, what I want to ask for input and stories from each of you is, what are some of your open house surprises? I'm going to give you an example of one I vividly remember. Many years back, there was a home that I was going to look at an open house. And because we were kind of pressed for time, and also we wanted to be we wanted to hit it at the very start of that window of time, we got there a little early. We walked in, and lo and behold, we were the first people. What I was surprised with in the first 10 seconds was the fact that I could clearly see this home was owned by a young family, young couple with a lot of kids, a lot of little kids at that. And in the first minute, as I started moving around, walking around, I was totally surprised as to where are all of their toys, right? And stuff. Everything was kind of put in some rightful place, out of the way, et cetera, et cetera. So for me, that was an open house surprise that really cemented in my memory. And to this day, more power to those of you, by the way. If you are very clean and organized, more power to you, because it certainly makes an impression. So, Stewart, what are some of your open house surprises?
Well, certainly some of my open house surprises is I've gotten to a house and I pre-scheduled the appointment, right? They knew ahead of time. It was at least a week or two ahead of time that we were going to have the open house. And the seller somehow, from when we took the photos to when we were going to do the open house, pretty much went all the way backwards to the beginning of where they were when I first came in and gave them the advice to declutter and clean up. And so that was a big surprise because, of course, you put in all this effort to make a home look good. You give them all this advice in a matter of, 1 week, 2 weeks, they let it all go back to the way it was before, which you try to tell people, I understand you have to live and your family, your kids have to live here, but you at the same time are selling your home and you are going to be having guests. And just like when you have, that yearly guest that comes every holiday, most people, not all, but most people try to have their house looking in tip-top shape for the family party or whatever. So it's similar to that, but even on a higher level, right? You're looking to sell your house, so you got to have it looking sharp. And every once in a while, life happens, for lack of a better term.
True. Life happens. Debbie, putting you on the spot. What about you? From what I think I know, you've bought and sold homes more times than a few. So I can only imagine when you have had to go through that journey, there's probably an open house that you attended. So share with us your open house surprise.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time when we were looking at open houses, we were kind of looking at newer ones. And so, they had the plastic down the hallways and then the plastic over the toilets. It was kind of funny. But yeah, I'm always opening doors and drawers and stuff. So I didn't find any dead people, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh. I'll share with you another story. It was in the same year we were looking to make a move. Another open house we went to. We were not the first people there. We were actually there with a few other people. And what was a big surprise as we, toured the home, we went into the basement. There were, how do I put it? There were some entertainment things, like a pole, for example.
Yeah, the good old stripper pole.
Right. And so we were first in the basement by ourselves. My wife and I looked at each other, and then she kind of like motioned like, hey, what is that? And I gave her the little funny look. And as we were having this nonverbal communication, another family, another couple came down. And here's the funny part. They came down because, well, they have kids. They want to see, can they have this basement as their kid space? And I think they also had the same reaction. Nonverbal communication, but rest assured, they kind of like looked toward the basement and then just literally ran back upstairs. So, yeah, these are some open house surprises that, from Stewart's perspective, as a real estate professional, I'm sure you got a whole lot more stories. Maybe some of it, you can only share in a non-recorded digital content, right? And
Right.
and and Debbie, I'm sure you've heard many others from your friends who have either bought, sold real estate property. So let's now, as I mentioned, because I teased you long enough, audience members, as to why you should know Debbie Jackson. Debbie, do us the honor. Tell us now what you do.
All right. My name is Debbie Jackson, and I'm a sales account manager for Sterling Engineering. We're a women-owned business, and we have been working at helping all types of manufacturing companies find staff, either on a contract to hire, or direct hire placement. And we work in the Chicagoland area, and we are all over the place now in 36 states. So I can help you find a job. I can help your friends, family find a job. And or if you know anybody that owns a company, I can help them find employees. So that's what
Ah,
Sterling Engineering does.
wow. So, yes, I've heard, because you know this more than what I've heard, finding good to great employees can be challenging for those employers right now, right?
Yes.
What are some crazy things employers are doing that you can share with us to try to find those good to great employees?
Well, I think they're really realizing that they need help because they can't, their HR department just can't do it because there's just so many open jobs and that so many people have so many opportunities. So they're giving extra vacation. They're giving a lot of hybrid schedules. They're giving sign-on bonuses. They're helping with relocation packages, things that they would have never done before because that's the only way they're going to get the talent to come on board. Right now, unemployment's at under 3.5%.
Right.
And companies are having to really, you know, move it up a notch to get these people. And the average income in Illinois is $75,000. That's huge because, before it was, I would say more so closer into the 50s with the differences between them. But they're paying so many people a lot of higher salaries right now. So,
Wow, wow. Are
mhm.
there, I know manufacturing is one industry you and your team specialize in. What's another big industry right now that's like seeking, a lot of talent, willing to pay top dollar for that talent?
I know people just think of, oh, people are, doing this or that. You have to think of manufacturing as anybody that makes anything. So like a box company, anybody that makes a drug or a pharmaceutical, all of these are manufacturing companies. So, we work with 200 to 300 per year. That's about on average. And we're in all verticals. We're in utilities. We're in plastics. We're in food manufacturing. We're in parts manufacturing, high-speed automation, pharmaceutical. So we're in all those divisions. So, they're all crying for help.
Yeah, yeah. So, Stuart,
Yeah.
asking you this question, would you, beyond the reason of shortening a commute, and of course, people making more money, they want to leave the not forever home to get to that forever home. Are you seeing a lot of sellers and buyers selling and moving for the reason of, yeah, I want that better job, I want more income? That's a big driver, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a huge driver. I am getting people who say it was too good to pass up. I got
Yeah.
an offer and I had to take it. And so even though it means leaving my home and leaving the area that I've been in the last 10 years, I got to go. It's just too good of a offer and potential. And a lot of them, a lot of people are looking at potential, right?
Right.
So if not only the increase, but it's also the potential for the future for them that they're making the move to transition. So definitively transition is really, in my opinion, at an all-time high.
Yep.
Yeah. I think, contrary to what we read and hear, especially for our respective businesses, Stuart. People are not moving. People are afraid to buy or sell because of the multitude of reasons. Life happens, change happens. And so, yeah, it's so refreshing to hear from you, Debbie, as to the fact that, yeah, unemployment, very real, is low. There are a lot of opportunities out there. And sometimes you just need to reach out to the right professionals to help you make that transition. So, Debbie, how would people reach out to you? Are you on social media platforms?
I am. Sterling Engineering is huge on the internet. We have a phenomenal website. We're on Facebook, we're on TikTok, and then of course I'm on LinkedIn. So personally, I'm on LinkedIn, but so is our company. So
Okay, perfect. So for all of you who are watching today's episode, once again, live or as a recording, you can rewind, go forward, whatever you choose to do. Beyond Debbie, if as part of your life event, as part of the changes that you want to work through, because I'm not in my forever home, I'm not in the right place, I need help to work through these changes, you know how to now get a hold of Debbie Jackson. If you need to start a conversation with mi amigo Stewart Ramirez and myself, real simple. Scan these QR codes. We'd be glad to start a conversation with you, whether it be a live phone conversation, a Zoom call, or even a text chat. I'm certain Stuart and I can answer the questions in front of you. So as we wrap up, Debbie, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for really reinforcing the fact that, hey, there's opportunities out there for all of you millennials,
yep.
for you who are Gen XYZ, and even some of you baby boomers who are saying, hey, I'm not retiring. I want to keep working. All right, that's it for now. So for all of you watching us today, stay tuned until we see you and each other in the next episode. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank
So
you.
long.